Okay, so a tutorial on how to clean your 429cc Kohler carburetor. I already have all the plastics and like intake manifold and all that off. It's just like a 2 half-inch nuts. They just gotta pull off studs, and the plastic should come right off. Make sure your fuel is off and your choke is on, so it can clear the beauty cover. First things first, you're gonna want to take off your throttle linkage and your fuel line. And for that, all you're going to do is just grab some pliers. And you're going to try and, not sure if you guys see that, but you're going to slide it off the carb. And you're going to try and get it above the fuel level. And you're going to grab some lock-on pliers. And then crimp the fuel line. And then gravity should hold these. So it'll hold the fuel line above the fuel level so you don't leak out. Next thing you're going to want is an 8mm wrench. You're going to want to loosen this side bowl. I'm going to use my other hand. And once you get it loose, or if I can, oh, I rotated it. Okay, technical difficulties. I don't know. Alright, there we go. You're just going to want to loosen that. Hopefully you have an easier time than I did. And just going to get the bowl most of the way drained. Then you're going to grab a 10mm wrench or socket. And make sure it's okay. Then you're going to want to take off that bottom center nut on the bowl. And there you go, you have your bowl off. And we just pull this off. You can see we have the float here. And basically all that does is when your fuel level gets to a certain point in the bowl, I think is probably about around here, it closes that needle in there, and which cuts the fuel flow, so it balances the bowl level so you don't flood your engine. So what I like to do is just pull out that pin and then take out your float, just to make things a little bit easier. Now, if you want to do like a full clean, you're going to want to pull this off. It's the bowl under your fuel shutoff. Not sure if you guys can see this, but there we go. So there is going to be fuel in there, so you're going to want to have to take that off above a pan. And basically your fuel comes in from right here, from the tank. And this is your fuel shut off. And then it goes through this mesh to go to here where your needle is. You see the little line right there. And that is what brings the fuel into your bowl. And then your float will shut it off. Will control the amount of fuel in there. So the problem I'm having is my jet right here is clogged. And obviously you don't want that, because this is how you get, obviously this is how you get your fuel. So if it's like not running, or it's running really bad, this is probably your main cause. Either the, between here and here, there's some problem, normally. And so basically, I don't know if you guys can see that. We're just gonna put some cleaner rods through here. I'm not sure what they're called, but just stuff like this. They look kind of like straw cleaners. You're gonna want to do that, and then we're gonna brake clean it, and then we are going to maybe blow air through it. So just angle you guys down here. As you can see, all you have to do is just grab one and slowly step up in size until it doesn't fit. So that one fit, but as you can see, this one doesn't. So don't try and force it if it doesn't fit, because it'll normally slide right through. So I'm gonna go grab some brake clean and some compressed air, and then I'll pick you guys up on that, and we'll go through that. Okay, so we got some brake clean, and we got about 40 psi through a nozzle. And basically, we're just gonna put the brake clean straw in there, and we're just gonna do a couple squirts. And you should see brake clean coming out of your bowl here, or Venturi. And that's what you want. So then we're going to grab some compressed air, go through, blow it out, and we're going to block this hole. As you saw, the brake clean shot out over there. So we're going to want to block that hole. You can just do it with your finger. And then that's all you got to do. And then you might want to grab one of these small little brushed ones that look like a straw cleaner and try and force that and clean it. Yeah, look at all that. Oh, wrong side of the camera. So that's a bunch of gunk in there. It's all cleaned up now. So we're gonna get all this back together. It's the same way that it came apart. Just gotta put the bowl in like that. And you're just going to slide your little needle in there. And then we're going to put the bowl. It doesn't really matter how you orientate it. But if it is going to sit for a while, I would recommend shutting the fuel off and maybe draining the bowl. At least that's what I do. So all we got to do now is just put this back on. We're going to put the drain bowl back on. I'm just going to put it all back together. So, I'm just going to finger tight that. Got the wrench. And then, we're going to grab our, and then we're going to tighten it, if I can find my 10mm wrench. And then, I'm going to go snug. Not too tight, because you might strip threads or damage your O-ring. If I can... Yeah, one thing you're definitely going to want to do is try and keep track of all your bolts, because, as you can see, I did not do that. Oh, there it is. And I lost it, so definitely try and keep track of all your hardware. And I want mine oriented like that, so I can drain the bowl. And then same with the bottom bolt here, you just want it snug. And then we're gonna angle this up here. All you're gonna do is just put it back on. Slide it over the studs, you're gonna put your throttle linkage back on. There we go. And then you're just gonna really quickly hold that there so it creates an airlock. And then you're going to get it where you want. This is at least what I do. You don't have to do this. But I figured that that's most helpful. And so you're going to want to give yourself the most amount of time to do that. Because otherwise you can see it leaks fuel everywhere. Which I feel like no matter what, it's going to leak fuel. Unless you're Superman. So, or Flash. And so you're going to want to double check that all your throttle linkage works. You're going to turn your fuel on. Not sure if you can hear that, but I can hear the bowl filling up. And that's what you want to hear if you get like really close. And you should be able to smell it too. So, I'm going to turn the fuel back off. I'm going to get my intake stuff back on. And that's the tutorial for you guys. This is how to clean the carb. Yeah, just like I said, it's super simple. So, make sure that you do torque these bolts evenly. And you're going to want to put your choke lever back on. I'm not running my factory stuff. I'm not running this. I'm running a Ram Air setup because it's on a go-kart. So I can't use my choke lever, which really sucks, not gonna lie. So, anyways, please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this. Have a good day.